Let me begin by saying I write books on business creativity, and I have to begin by saying that every time a member of parliament mentions the word innovation, it makes me very happy. Especially when they say the goal of a visionary leader is to focus on innovation. That makes me even more happy. But I thought I would start by kind of checking how relevant you think innovation and creativity is, because that's what I know. I'm not a project manager. I write books on business creativity. So I'm going to start by asking you 3 questions, and if you agree, raise your hand. First question, how many of you think that being creative is important in my job? Good. Here comes the second question. How many of you think that you are creative? People in the back, apparently. Okay, third question. How many of you think that my company is doing enough to develop my creativity? Okay. 1. Self-employed or HR manager? Which company? Which company are you working for? Oh, okay. Good. I would like to know which one, because it's extremely rare. Okay, let's see what, because I always ask these 3 questions. I've asked them in more than 30 countries, and here is what people say. Is creativity important in your job? Yes. Everyone always says yes, regardless of which industry they are in. From advertising to hospitals, from police to construction workers. Everyone says creativity is important. Except once. Because I'm Swedish, right? I got a telephone call from a Swedish nuclear power plant, and they said, hello, can you come to us and talk about creativity? And I said, you're calling from what? A nuclear power plant. You want me to come and talk about creativity? Yes, I said yes, okay. So I went there. I came to a group, 50 guys, or older men actually, 50 old men, and they all sat like this. And I asked the first question, how many of you think that being creative is important in your job? 50 men sat like this. And I had 2.5 hours with them. Wonderful. Then after 1 hour, one man raised his hand and he said, excuse me, I didn't want you to come here. But I said, I didn't want to come either, so that's mutual. But then he said, but I suddenly realized something. There's no business, nor industry, where creativity is more important than the nuclear power plant industry, because we have to figure out everything that can go wrong before it goes wrong, right? And then the whole group changed. So I've never left a room where everyone or almost everyone said, creativity is important in my job. But here's the second question. Are you creative? Now here there are differences. By the way, there are cultural differences. This is a global average. I asked in more than 30 countries. In Sweden, it's slightly higher. Sweden is like 65%. Singapore is about 40% normally. One of the worst in the world, by the way. But which country has the highest level of creative confidence? In which country does the most people raise their hand and say, yes, I am a creative person? Everyone says US, except the American, who says Italy. And you're both very good guessers. Italy is very high. America is even higher. It's 95%. And then one country that beats both Italy and America, and that is Iceland. Iceland. I've been to Iceland 3 times. I asked every time, and 99% of Icelandic people raised their hand. Actually, last time I was there, this was literally 100 people, and everyone but one raised his hand. So I said, you are a unique Icelandic person. You did not raise your hand. Why did you not raise your hand? And he said, Mr. Fredrik, I was at the gym yesterday, and this is the first time in 6 months I went to the gym. I'm so sore I cannot lift my hand. So everyone in Iceland thinks they're a creative person. So Iceland number 2, America number 2, Iceland number 1, America number 2, Italy number 3. What's the common denominator of these 3 countries? Except that they think they're very creative? Going bankrupt, okay? Now, this is very important. Since I write books on creativity, it's very important not to do the wrong conclusion, because some people say, yeah, that's what I always knew. Countries where people are creative go to hell. That's not the right conclusion. The right conclusion is countries where people think they are creative go to hell. And that's not the same thing. Because just because you raise your hand doesn't mean you're a creative person, correct? And just because you did not raise your hand doesn't mean you're an uncreative person. It means you're a humble Asian person. And obviously, the country with the lowest creative confidence is South Korea. Singapore is 40%. Japan is 35%. South Korea is absolutely standing by itself. I was in South Korea, 300 people, just like you, top-level executives. Is creativity important in your job? Yes. Everyone said yes. Are you creative? Not a single hand. Not a single hand. So I said, no one in this room thinks you are a creative person? One man raised his hand. And he said no. Not compared to Leonardo da Vinci. That is the South Korean way of thinking. Are you a creative person? No, not compared to the most creative person who has ever lived. What's the American way of thinking, or the Icelandic way of thinking? Are you a creative person? Yes, compared to the guy next to me here. Third question. Is your company doing enough to develop your creativity? No. No one says yes, ever, or hardly ever. So today I will talk about why is creativity so important? Why will it become more important? Why is it important for you as product managers? And why do I think, actually, what have I learned about creativity in the last 12 months? Because I am Swedish, but I moved to Asia 4 years ago. I moved to Beijing. I was living in Beijing for 2 years, and then I spent 10 months without a home. For 10 months in a row, I went around to more than 15 developing countries, from South Africa to South Korea, India and China, Indonesia, Turkey, Russia. I interviewed more than 200 people, and this is for my next book. And this book is about creativity in developing countries. The book will be called The Developing World. So that's what we'll talk about. So since I write books on creativity, let's start by defining what is an idea. What is an idea? Maybe I should ask you, because someone who raised your hand and said you were a creative person, how would you define what is an idea? Anyone? What is an idea? It's a thought. Okay. One more. What is an idea? Sorry? Thinking out of the box. Good. One more. What is an idea? Sorry? Oh, a solution to a problem. Yes, that's the project management's answer. It always comes when you talk to project managers, and it always comes in Germany, regardless of what they work with. Now I'm going to give you my definition. An idea is that one person takes at least 2 formerly known things and combines them in a new way. One person takes 2 previously known things, combines them in a new way. For example, like this. Take the concept of a ship. It's a previously known thing. Take a concept of a parachute. It's a previously known thing. Now you combine these two. Ship and parachute combined. What do you get? Parasailing. Yes, very good. I was in Norway a few months ago. You take ships, you take parachute, you combine it. What do you get? He said James Bond. You take ship, you take parachute, you combine it. What do you get? You get a parachute on a ship. And hence, uninnovative. This is not, the people who laugh might think this is a joke. It's not a joke. It's a serious invention. It reduces oil consumption.